As Christmas is coming up very soon, I've decided to knit a few pairs of socks as Christmas gifts. Hi, I'm Anne, and in this vlog I'm going to talk about my completed and current knitting projects. Before I begin, I just would like to say that the jumper I'm wearing was designed and knitted by myself. It's quite a simple V-neck jumper, knitted originally in the round and then completed separately for the front and the back and the sleeves. And for this project I use drop snod in color 07. It's a lovely beige color which is also quite warm, and this particular yarn has 45% alpaca, 30% polyamide and 25% wool. It's lovely and warm. I do have more of this yarn left, as you can see, and I'm thinking of knitting mittens and maybe a couple of hats to go with my jumper. This is nice and warm yarn. At the same time, it's quite thin. I think it's lovely for various projects like mittens, socks or hats, as it's not too thick. It's quite, the yarn is quite thin, so I'm going to make use of it very soon. So starting with the completed project. So a project which I've completed recently is a roll neck vest which I've knitted for my husband. Because my husband cycles a lot, he wanted to have something warm knitted for him for winter months. So for that purpose I've decided to knit him a roll neck vest. So and the reason for the vest instead of a jumper is so he could wear his cycling gear underneath, and this vest would be just worn over the top to keep him warm as an extra layer. It's a little bit longer than a normal jumper would be, so that when he cycles, the vest covers all of his back. I knitted this vest in circular knitting bottom up, so I started knitting using the 2x2 rib and then knitted the main body of the jumper using the 6x2 rib, so 6 knit stitches and 2 purl stitches. It was knitted in circular knitting all the way up to the armholes, and then I split my knitting into two and completed the front and back separately. And the arm opening I've completed in the 2x2 rib to complement the bottom 2x2 rib. And the roll neck was also knitted in the 2x2 rib, so that all kind of goes nicely together. This vest has been knitted in 3 types of yarn, most of which is wool, which makes this vest very warm. Now, the feedback I've received about this vest is that it's super warm and very handy now the temperature has dropped outside. And he can wear it, and he started wearing not just for his cycling but also wearing it as an additional layer if he feels cold outside. So I think there might be another project coming up soon where I'm going to knit a jumper, possibly very similar to this one, but this time with the sleeves. As Christmas is coming up very soon, I've decided to knit a few pairs of socks as Christmas gifts. One of the socks I've knitted is a stripy sock. The sock has been knitted from cuff to toe. I use 1x1 rib for cuff, and all of the main body of the sock has been knitted in stripy, same type of yarn. So the yarn I use for this sock is again drop snod, my favorite yarn, in white color and in pink and white color. Because I had the sock is stripy and I wanted to have a contrast heel and toe colors, I decided to knit the heel in short rows, which I think complements the sock really beautifully, kind of creates that triangular shape of the heel, which I think works really nice together where you have the main sock is stripy, your decorative kind of contrast cuff, heel and toe. I think that looks really nice. And I've also got another pair of socks on the go right now, very similar design. So again, the heel is also done in the short rows, so that to create that triangular shape. I've decided not to go for the contrast color on the heel. this time, but I do have a decorative pattern here. The pattern kind of mimics a little bit, if you can see, I'm not sure if it looks, the pattern mimics a snowflake, and I think it looks really nice for a wintry sock. This sock is very much in progress at the moment, so I've just started knitting it, so I've got to knit another one to go with this one, obviously. So when I'm nearing completion of one knitting project, I like to think and plan what I'm going to knit next. So here I've knitted a sample for my next knitting project, and this is most likely going to be a jumper. I'm still thinking about it. So that's kind of what my sample looks like. It's kind of really fluffy and has this boucle effect. The yarn I'm going to be using for this project is a combination of two yarns. One is obviously both are from Drops. So one is Drop Silk in kind of like white color, and another yarn is Alpaca Boucle. And I'm going to knit them together, and that will give me this lovely fluffy boucle effect. My next project, which I've started knitting a few weeks back in September, I've been knitting it and then decided to pause it because I'm not sure if I'm going to enjoy wearing it. A few weeks ago, going back to September, I came across a knit along organised by Rowan. It was for a scarf. So the scarf was called Snowflower Scarf, which was made up of 12 pattern designs, and each pattern was released on a weekly basis. So I ordered my yarn and I started knitting it around mid-September. And I recently stopped. The reason I've stopped is because I'm not sure whether I'm going to enjoy wearing it. So this is the current state of the scarf. So the scarf is knitted in circular knitting, and it's a Fair Isle pattern. As you can see, the patterns are kind of, you've got 20 rows of different patterns, and each pattern is different and has different color combinations. As to the color combination, I think it's been designed and blended together really well by the designer. I stopped my scarf here, so I've stopped about halfway through. First time I saw the scarf, a picture, I thought, wow, it looks amazing. It looks so complicated. The colors look so beautiful, and the patterns are so nice. I really wanted to have a go at it, especially as I had never knitted a Fair Isle pattern. So it was a good opportunity to learn new skills, how to knit in Fair Isle knitting, and also have a beautiful scarf at the end of it, especially as I wanted a new scarf for winter. And then I knitted each block on a weekly basis. However, when I got to here, kind of about halfway through, I have to be honest, I was really excited to knit these patterns because they are quite pretty. But in a scarf, I think they are quite busy and complicated and busy. And sometimes I'm looking at this scarf and thinking, oh my, this looks so just crazy. Does this look crazy? What do you think? Would you recommend continuing with the scarf? Or do you think I should stop here, frog it, undo it all altogether, and begin a new project? I kind of put the scarf around, so I really like the color combination, but what I'm not so sure about is the busyness of the scarf, is how many patterns are here. And of course I stopped on pattern number, let me just see how many patterns I've done. I think I've done 6 or 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and a half. I'm on to my 7th pattern. And of course there are a few more because the scarf is made of 10 to 12 patterns. It depends what you choose. So I'm not sure if I'm going to enjoy wearing it, or will I feel like the scarf is a bit too busy and it will look a little bit kind of crazy. I think it will I think the scarf definitely is an eye catcher. It will draw attention to it because of its pattern. So definitely is a showstopper. Why not I undo it completely and make perhaps another scarf, but less busy? Maybe incorporate some of the ideas and skills I've learned in the knit along and create a completely new project. My own, perhaps even design my own patterns, which wouldn't be so busy and so kind of so many of them. Maybe just use one or two types, kind of one or two pattern ideas rather than having 12 patterns all together in the scarf. So I'd love to hear what you think about the scarf. Do you think it's worth continuing with it? Or would it be better to have to design my own pattern and knit a different, kind of less busy design? Please let me know in comments what your thoughts are on the scarf. And that is it for today. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video and maybe even have got an inspiration for your next project yourself. If you did enjoy, please don't forget to press the like button, and I will see you in the next video.